Peak Wealth Management proudly presents Finding True Wealth with certified financial planner Nick Hopwood and accredited investment fiduciary Jim Pilat. Nick and Jim believe by making simple, good financial decisions, you can retire with confidence. And now, let's turn it over to your hosts, Nick and Jim.
Welcome everyone to episode 116 of the Retire with Confidence podcast. I'm Jim. No, wait, I'm Nick.
Yeah, I'm Jim.
Yeah, so get that out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm going with the beard again, okay? My wife convinced me to shave, and I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
But she lied, so I'm growing it again.
Okay.
Right, there's an agreement.
Are you going to go as full as it was last time, or are you just going to...
We'll see. There was an agreement. It was unfulfilled.
Okay.
So we're back.
It's coming back,
Yeah.
huh? It's a negotiating
It's already
tool.
pretty good, right?
It is, yes. It's far superior to mine would ever be.
I've never seen you try to grow one.
It wouldn't come out good.
All right, so today we're talking about the 9 categories of Martin Short.
Mm-hmm.
You might be wondering, Martin Short, he hasn't been around lately. And
Yeah, the comedian?
The comedian, yeah. And then what are the 9 categories?
Mm-hmm.
I was telling someone yesterday about Martin Short, and because this has been top of mind since I heard about this.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Martin from Bad Boys. I'm like, no. Martin Short from Three Amigos.
Three Amigos, yeah. You got to go way back for Martin Short.
Yeah. I remember as a kid in the 80s, like Three Amigos was on HBO every day for a while.
Yeah.
And I always watched it.
It is a classic.
I think I need to rewatch.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I'm not sure if it'll hold up or not, you know?
Yeah.
I recently saw Ghostbusters, also excellent, and it holds up very well.
The original?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it holds up very well.
Okay.
I never watched the new one.
Yeah. Probably weren't missing much.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So what are the Martin Short 9 categories? So I have been listening to the Smartless podcast, Smartless, L-E-S-S.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got Jason Bateman, who I love, and he's been around forever, right? And Sean Hayes, he was on Will and Grace.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I never really watched that, so I don't really know his work.
Mm-hmm.
And then Will Arnett, who's fantastic.
Yep.
So I think he's so underrated because he's never the lead. He's always
Will Arnett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always like a co-star or like a supporting actor. He was married to Amy Poehler,
That's
and
right.
they joke about it all the time. They say, Amy Poehler's husband, and that's him, Will Arnett.
Yeah.
And he's the third guy, and he's so funny. And here's something that you might not know about him,
Mm-hmm.
is that he is the voice in the Reese's peanut butter commercials. The peanut butter cups. He's got it's like not sorry, like with that deep voice.
I'll have to pay attention to that.
His voice is like so deep.
Yeah.
And like that's him just the way he talks.
Interesting.
So anyway, they have Martin Short on as a guest,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to listen to it, it's the Smartless episode 25. So Martin Short.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of other great guests, by the way.
Do they?
So during this, Sean Hayes asks Martin Short about his 9 categories, and Martin says, well, he's 70 years old today, but when he was 28, he hit a rough patch. Things weren't going his way, and he reflected that during these couple of months where he was having bad luck, that maybe there are things that he could do to improve himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking inward. So I was like, man, this reminds me of blueprinting.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Right. So one of the very first episodes that we did, before we even connected, right, was blueprinting, and we even made a workbook to fill out your own blueprinting booklet.
Mm-hmm.
We have one right here.
I was just peeking
I
over
should
there.
have had one.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the podcast and you want to get your copy of our blueprinting book, just email me, nick@peakwm.com, and we will mail you one.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, blueprinting is about living your life by design, not by default, and writing down your vision of the future, your mission, and your goals. And actually, this past weekend, I was working on goal setting for 10 years 5 years, 1 year out. You know, and it's personal and professional, and it touches everything. So these 9 categories are very similar. Just, you know, instead of looking forward to the vision and goal setting, it's kind of like looking back and monitoring right now.
Yeah.
And thinking about different specific categories of your life.
I think of it like a score sheet almost. How am I doing in these different categories of my life?
Yeah, and one happens to be financial. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, okay, so Martin says there's 9 categories, and he didn't take my call because I had some follow-up questions.
Yeah.
He only listed 8 in the interview.
Okay.
So here's the 8, and you know, we can make up a 9th category, okay?
Yeah.
So first is self-health, you know, like your mental health, physical health. You know, are you working out? Are you overweight? You know, are you taking care of yourself? Right? So I think this is really important. We talk about health yields wealth.
Yep.
And you can go back and listen to, I think it's like episode 2, where we did a huge, like long panel that we recorded. It was a live presentation panel, and you can get my health story and some other great info from our panelists. So we think health yields wealth, and I think that it's no accident that he listed it as number 1. So number 2 is like family, your spouse and your kids, right? How am I doing with my family, right? Am I putting all my effort into that? You know, how are my relationships?
Right, and I think when he talks about these too, just to keep in mind as we kind of run through these categories, is he does it like a grading system, right? An A, B, C, D, E, or F. Am I, you know, think back to school, right? Am I getting an A in this class, or am I getting an A in this category, or am I failing it?
Yeah, and if you're failing in one area, right, you might be passing with an A+ in another area,
right?
And so you think, well, I need to, you know, maybe put more energy into the area where I'm failing.
Struggling a little.
Yeah. Let's turn it around.
Right.
So family relationships, quality of family life. And then third is similar, siblings. So like, you know, your original family, right? Like, how's my relationship with my brother or my sister? And then category 4 are friendships. You know, am I being a good friend? You know, and I think, you know, they talk about how many 3 a.m. friends do you have?
Right.
Where, you know, you're going to, if you have a real problem, they're going to pick up at 3 a.m. And the answer for me is, you know, 0, because my phone is off.
Mine's in the kitchen at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not answering. So
right.
Maybe I need to work on that.
There you go. You're getting a D.
Okay. And I feel like I can improve my friendship just by leaving my phone on. That's easy, right? It's an easy fix.
Absolutely.
Go from a D to an A.
It's a good way to boost your grade quick.
Yeah, that's right. Some extra credit. Number 5 is money, right? So, you know, over the past year, you could be great in money or you could be terrible, right? It just kind of depends on what career you find yourself in with the shutdown.
Yeah, and I don't think it has to mean necessarily am I making good money, but am I making good choices with my money? Am I being smart with it? Am I using it and spending it wisely? Am I expense tracking? Right, all these things that we've talked about all the time.
On the podcast that we're referencing, Jason Bateman, he referenced money, and he said, well, if you're struggling with money, couldn't that be a recipe for disaster? You know, to ruin the rest? And it could be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You know, it could be a slippery slope. Number 6 for Martin is creativity. So that's, you know, as an actor, right? There's a certain amount of creativity. He's a writer. He was on SNL writing sketches and stuff.
Right.
My creativity is always 0. So I would need to put some emphasis on that.
Yeah, that's scary because I think mine's below yours. So
you think?
Yeah.
Well, this podcast was my idea, so there's a little bit of creativity. I think maybe for me, I would change up the categories and say, you know, I don't really care about, it doesn't make a difference for me. So maybe instead of creativity, we would use something business related instead. Like that's his business, right? That's his career. Right. So maybe something along those lines would be, pick a category that works with my career.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge takeaway from this whole thing is doesn't have to be these exact categories. You can design them to fit your life, right? And what are these important and priority areas in your life that you want to make sure you're doing well in? So I would agree, creativity maybe wouldn't apply to us as much, but it could be substituted out pretty easily.
Like you could change creativity to your dog. Like, how's my relationship with my dog?
Yeah, it's a solid C.
I think I'm an A+, man.
So do I. Every time you leave the room, Bursley just cries.
He loves me.
Waits for you to come back.
Number 7 is discipline. So this is a pretty good one, and we can relate that really to kind of is a derivative of every category.
Yeah.
Like, how's my discipline when it comes to my health, to finances, to everything, and I like to think that I'm very disciplined, right? And I think discipline, leads to making good decisions and general success.
Yeah, I think it's not common to necessarily be disciplined in one area of your life, but not others, right? So I think that it has a snowball effect where if you're disciplined in certain areas of your life, it becomes easier to be disciplined in those other areas as well.
So I oftentimes am really laser focused with eating well, and then oftentimes, I fall right off the wagon, right? So that's where I could use more discipline, just being more moderate all the time instead of just on or off,
Yep.
Last night I had a lot of Doritos and why?
Well, I know why, but yeah.
They're good.
They're good.
Right? Okay, so number 8 is lifestyle. So he said having balance, having fun, right? So maybe work-life balance. If your lifestyle is working 80 hours a week, that's really that isn't a lifestyle.
Right.
It's too extreme.
Right. And are you making time to date your spouse, right? To go out to dinner and have, quality time with just them, as opposed to constantly running to the next kid activity.
True. Very true. So I think that having a good lifestyle balance is fun. And you know what? I read the 4-Hour Workweek many years ago, and it really resonated with me, the Tim Ferriss book. And I've read it a couple times now, actually. But he talks about work-life balance. And, the title is catchy, the 4-Hour Workweek. Obviously, that's pretty impossible, but it's just the concept is really striking. So every month, I actually set a reminder on my phone that comes up, and it says, think about last month and, work-life balance. Think about the 4-Hour Workweek. And so, I kind of started that already, like this whole 9 categories thing.
Right.
Why doesn't he have a better name? Because he just called it, the 9 categories.
Yeah, because he even mentioned in the podcast that, it was something he just came up with. He didn't hear about it from anywhere. He didn't get the idea from anybody. It just kind of clicked with him. And so I guess he's just kind of used it in life and not really, I don't know. I wonder how many times he's actually spoke about it other than, this podcast or told people about it.
Well, Sean Hayes was at his house and he told him about it a couple of years ago there.
Okay.
So maybe he talks about it with everyone in every conversation.
Yeah.
So he should have a better name.
It could be.
Okay, so number 9, he didn't say.
That was the mystery one.
Yeah. Maybe it's secret.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It's a bonus, right? You can just roll with the 8 categories, or you can have 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any magic to 9, right? I think it's a good exercise for people to look within themselves and say, what are these important categories of my life, and how am I doing in them? I think it's a creative idea, which is probably why he scores well in the creativity box.
Yeah.
But I think it could be really valuable.
And then when he looks back, he said, I don't know if this is a joke or not. He said he color codes it. He said he uses the John Ashcroft color coding system from the War on Terror, right? So like there's red, yellow, green,
right?
And he said his weight is way off, like purple, like beyond red. So he's having a weight problem with number 1.
Yeah.
But I would take this maybe if I wanted to be really anal about this and make it into a spreadsheet, right? And you could be color coded, and it's got to have a password on it though, like password protected.
You don't want your grades slipping out there.
Yeah. If it gets released to the public, then I just don't know what I would do.
For sure.
But I could see this as a monthly exercise for sure, and really a way to improve, your person, right?
Yeah, I like it. And, and like you said earlier, I mean, every category gets its own grade, right? So maybe you're not failing in life, right? If you added them all up, you got a lot of A's, maybe some B's, but maybe there's a D or an F in there somewhere, right? And it's just a way to evaluate that and have that stand out to you and say, okay, I want to have good grades all across the board. What can I do in this category to improve? What can I do?
Yeah, like self-reflecting. I feel like my relationship with my 13-year-old son, like we're not on the same page right now, right? So I would give that a lower score. So it's like, how can I improve that, right?
Right.
Let's make a mental, what do we say? Just an improved focus.
Yeah, like a commitment, a mental commitment to addressing it.
Yeah, let's double down on getting back on the same page, right? And that will really improve category 2, which is family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay. Well, like I said, if you want the blueprinting book, which is awesome, but I'll say, you probably won't fill it out. Probably not.
Most people don't.
Yes. But if you want it, we'll send it to you.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, just on that topic, I think it is super helpful just as a way to guide you through thinking through your goals, thinking through the future. The first time I did it, and it said, what do you want to be in 5 years? And what are the ages of your kids? And I started going, oh my gosh, my kids are going to be knocking on college's doorstep and all these things. And it was kind of eye-opening to think that's only 5 years away. So I think it's a powerful process to go through to help you understand where you want to be and how you're going to get there.
And it's funny how the difference between a 10-year goal and 1 year and how you approach that, because I was doing the 10-year one on Sunday, and I was like, man, in 10 years, both of my boys should be through college and hopefully out on their own.
Yeah.
Right, not in the basement.
Right.
And that's my goal. That was the first goal. Like both boys out.
Self-sufficient,
right?
doing well. Yeah.
Right. Like if I can't get that, if I can't be there in 10 years, I'll be very disappointed. Because they'd be, 23 and 21.
Right.
And then you go to the 1 year goal and you're like, I forget what I put number 1, but we want to be on the college path, right? But that's much different than saying they're done and out.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's like check the box. So.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, so that's it. If you would like to speak further, and you have a portfolio of over 500,000, you can learn more at peakwm.com. Email me, nick@peakwm.com for the blueprinting book. And what else?
Yeah, I encourage you to do it. Go for it.
And stick around for the next episode because it's going to be even better.
You've been listening to Certified Financial Planner Nick Hopwood and accredited investment fiduciary Jim Pilat on the Finding True Wealth podcast, sponsored by Peak Wealth Management. You can learn more about Peak Wealth Management by visiting peakwm.com or follow on Twitter at nhopwood1.